Warning. Warning. Proceed at your own risk. We are now entering the underground. The algorithm has no power here. Your eyes and ears are vulnerable. Prolonged exposure may cause psychological damage. If you experience symptoms, return to the surface at once. Welcome to the Brink Film Club.
Hi, welcome to Brink Film Club.
Hello. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we did a little episode, and I'm David Pike, and with me is Miss Baltimore Bombshell, and today we have Chris Caliendo.
I'm very excited to speak with Chris.
And also Francisco Landin, talking about the Nogales Film Festival that is happening very soon.
Very excited about this. It's such a cool, unique film festival in Southern Arizona.
It is. Their films are on the border wall. Well, not all of them. They do, like, I think the nightly Thursday, Friday, Saturday on the border wall.
Projected on both sides.
Yeah, projected on both sides.
So cool.
Yeah, so we're going to hear a little bit more about that a little bit later in the show. We'll be talking to Chris. First, so you got a movie.
Yes, I
do. You haven't watched it. It's a P movie.
Yes. So there's a little backstory on this. We have this great shop called Bookman's in Tucson, and I go over every couple days and go through their cult classics section. And I was walking through one day and I saw in this glass case, they keep some like higher end weird stuff in there.
When it's in a glass case, that means it's usually really good or really crazy or something.
Or just really expensive.
Or really just expensive.
Yeah.
Right?
And there was a copy of this film, and I was like, I don't know anything about this, but based off the title alone, I need it. And my partner, I kept like pointing it out to him, and he's like, that looks terrible. I don't want to watch it. Now, I love my partner, but he is not the biggest fan of B movies. He's like, I want to watch something good. And I'm like, bad is good. So we recently had an anniversary, and to my surprise, he got me a copy of it.
Oh my
I'm
God.
very excited.
Oh my God.
It is a 1996 German horror action comedy film set in New York City called Killer Condom. And it's based off the comic books, and I don't speak German, so bear with me. Condom des Grauens and bis auf die Noken. Sorry. I'm so sorry I'm butchering your beautiful language for our German listeners. But it's ridiculous. It's about this. I have to read you the plot because the plot is just insane.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
In the seedy parts of New York City, gay NYPD detective Luigi Macaroni is investigating a series of bizarre attacks at the Hotel Quickie in which male guests have all had their penises mysteriously bitten off.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Your face is very excited about this. Well, at the hotel, he enlists the services of a gigolo named Billy and invites him up to the crime scene. I'm just going to say, I feel like there could be a better name for the gigolo.
Yeah.
Billy is not cutting it for me.
Yeah. What would be a good gigolo?
Well, Deuce Bigelow, but that kind of has already been taken.
It's already been done.
Yeah.
It's already been done.
Yeah. So when the two men are about to engage in sex, a carnivorous living condom interrupts them and bites off Macaroni's right testicle.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Right?
How do we recover from that?
Yeah. But now, on a personal vendetta, Macaroni begins his lone quest not only to bring a stop to the rash of condom attacks, but also to face his true feelings towards Billy the Gigolo.
Oh.
I feel like this movie kind of has everything.
I think there's a good love story in there.
Yeah, I really do.
I feel,
I've been super excited to watch it. I've been trying to talk my partner into watching it, and he is like, no, I'm busy.
Yeah, maybe there's a certain screening that showed this movie that, after you watch it, then,
I have to tell you, when I opened it up, I was jumping up and down and squealing like a little pig. I was so excited.
It sounds like a classic.
Yeah, I've been telling my friends that I got a hold of this, and I'm very excited to show it. And they've all had looks of bewilderment on their face.
Yeah, I don't know why. This sounds like gold.
Yeah. So if you have seen it, please let us know what you think, because I'm very excited to watch this. I really do have to sit down and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, we're still getting emails. Bringfilmclub@gmail.com. I mean, if you want to email us and maybe you've seen this, or
Yeah, I want.
maybe you're in the cast, maybe you're the director.
My God, yes.
I don't know.
Maybe you played.
Maybe we'll get you on.
Yeah, maybe you played the Condom.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. And what was your job after that? Toxic Avenger? Be kind of cool. I just play like weird animals or whatever, people.
Yes, I want to know all
There's
about this.
yeah.
Ah,
Totally.
so have you watched any bad movies recently?
Oh my God. I watched so much stuff.
First of all, I don't want to say that Killer Condom is bad, because it looks like.
Oh, it could be Oscar winning,
You
know
know it is.
No.
Yeah.
You could be crying at the end when they get together. You don't know, Will. You might be shedding a tear like, oh my God, that was so beautiful. It's like The Notebook, but like part 2 or something, in a different way. Like
Really
Notebook,
super
but
romantic. Yeah.
It could be in the rain, like kissing at the end, who
Oh,
knows?
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this.
So I think it's a winner. I think it's supposed to. So yeah, so we do look forward to doing another episode. Maybe we get on and talk about that. So maybe our listeners who can't find a copy can go like, hey.
But I just love the fact that it's based off of a German comic series. I think
Crazy.
And now I'm like, I was like, I have to get on eBay and start trying to track down
Find
copies, because I think this is very cool.
Would it be hilarious if it was in like the Sunday comics? Or
That would be amazing.
that'd be great.
I did actually have a friend that was over in Germany for the last month, and I did ask him to go look for me, and he couldn't find anything.
I can find
But
yeah.
he said he did get some very weird looks from people. So it might be underground. I don't know.
Maybe it could be like one of those rubber crumb sort of like crumb things.
I'm thinking we might need a Bring Film Club goes to Germany to discover more underground film stuff.
Let's do like a field trip.
I love
Go to Germany and drink some beers and hang out.
Oktoberfest is coming.
October. Oh my God, that's right. It's like the biggest time of the year. And we're gonna welcome Chris Caliendo on.
I had the joy of meeting David after he took an illustrious drive 2 hours to attend the first Martial Arts Film Festival. I think that's where we actually formally met physically. And I was providing a panel on music on a budget, I think with a Hollywood price, without the Hollywood price tag, which has become a very important issue, being relatively recent to the Arizona lifestyle here. I'm from born in Italy, raised in New York, educated in Boston, but for 33 years, I'd worked as a composer in all mediums in Hollywood. And 2 years came out to Arizona and started to circumnavigate the film industry here, and just coming to certain conclusions on the paradigm shifts that of course affected the industry, but also young indie filmmakers who don't have the education, born into the digital age perhaps, of how they can acquire a veteran film score without the concern they have of being too pricey,
Yes.
too costly, right?
So that's what got me very interested in what you do. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on was because I want filmmakers who listen to this to know exactly what you do. What is
Right.
How can there's so many movies out there that have really bad scores, or they just have to get all these other things. They pay too much. They do whatever. So you were starting to explain, but can you explain more? Like, how could this benefit a filmmaker who needs a score and needs something, to their movie?
Yeah, I think the fortune I have now as I'm older, now in my 60s, that I bridge the era of Henry Mancini, who was my first teacher,
Oh, wow.
into this digital age, right? So indie filmmakers shouldn't think of original scoring as a luxury. It's an investment, in their brand and in their client success. So my teaching is bringing your composer in early, treat music as part of the storytelling strategy, use the data to prove its return on investment. And that's how you deliver impact on screen, on budget, and your bottom line. What I'm doing for indie filmmakers today comes straight from a lifetime spent at every level of the business, from earning Emmy nominations at CBS, collaborating with legends like Henry Mancini, the Manhattan Transfer, Barbra Streisand, Julie Andrews, to having my music performed at the LA Phil along with John Williams and the Hollywood Bowl. So I'm honored to be a 2-time Heritage Award winner and have conducted my scores live in picture with orchestras of the Venice and Irish Film Festivals. So my journey has taken me from Sony 20th Century Fox to the heart of indie cinema and over like 350 theatrical works performed worldwide. So with that knowledge and experience, plus the digital age, what I share with filmmakers is quite simple. You can achieve this powerful, emotionally resonant score on any budget if you treat music as a creative partner rather than as an afterthought. For example, to celebrate the Phoenix Festival's 25th anniversary, Jason wanted a John Williams type large orchestra, right? So I have access to the Phoenix Symphony's brass ensemble. I put a budget together, and it was a certain amount. I went to him and he said, we just don't have that money to afford it. So being who I am, I took simply a French horn player, a trombonist, a trumpet player, and I brought them to my home studio here. And in this non-union state, at a very minimal cost, I will be very transparent here, for $350, I overdubbed them and created a live, powerful brass section. And the skill which I have that most young composers don't have is that I know what instruments, how to compose the live instruments mixed with the virtual libraries to actually humanize the score to make it sound absolutely 100% real. When Oliver Stone heard that music, which preempted every screening of every film at the Phoenix Film Festival, he thought it was a 100-piece live orchestra. Yeah. So there are ways of doing things which come from experience that I have and my love for indie filmmaking, because great stories, great narrations, really unique storytelling comes. And the truth is, with less of a budget, there's innovation. You have creativity. Look at Star Trek, the original series in the 60s. I mean, they had very little budget. But I remember laying on a belly with my dad watching it as a 6-year-old boy. And when they said, beam me aboard, I mean, the illusion they created was extraordinary, right? Mm-hmm. So, but they were very creative with minimal forces. So my focus is giving filmmakers the tools and strategies to collaborate directly, communicate their vision, avoid budget pitfalls, maximize musical impact. And whether you're an emerging director, or a seasoned pro, every story deserves a memorable score, because I'm here to show how it's possible at any level, but to prove that music, it really moves the financial needle, not just the emotional one. But it's all these experiences Henry Mancini taught me, all these experiences, diversify your musical personality, because you never know when it's going to help a director. And looking back in hindsight to working with Henry on Victor Victoria, how much I learned from him. So regarding the value of conducting, of performing, of composing. Today, these young people, we have 1,450 music schools in the country, and it's all digital media now. They don't learn the stuff I've learned. So these composers press a button. Now the industry is, to your point, inundated with these, I hate to say it, but they're mediocre scores. You have the voice of the hominid. It's drums, and then melody can come from drums. But when we go to the conservatory, we're taught to create real orchestral music that is not prioritized on drumming. Anyway, I see a lot of paradigm shifts affecting cognition and the ability to compose. The day when John Williams passes away, it's just going to be a huge void. Yeah. that I hope to fill and maintain, that incredible American bridge from Leonard Bernstein and Aaron Copland and Gershwin, to John Williams.
Yeah, no, I believe those scores, those are the ones that really stick in your head. Yes. The John Williams type scores. Oh yeah. I mean, they make cinema. Yes. To me, growing up, I watched movies always like that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, at times you like, hey, other different ones could be cool here and there.
Right.
But when you want something really, really good,
they're always, it's just the most impactful. They just absorb you in.
Yeah, we saw a change in film history. I think it was around 95 with The English Patient, on correct. But we started to see, and this happens with literature. It happens in other artistic forms. And the fact that we have now, my son's 10 years old and he's, they're all scrolling, right? So that leads to ADHD or the inability to focus. We just want this sugar popcorn instant gratification. And we don't read Flaubert. We don't read Robert Browning. We don't read Shakespeare anymore. With film scoring, you don't have music to advertise the picture at the beginning. I mean, Henry Mancini was a master. When you think of Peter Gunn or the Pink Panther theme, the Godfather theme, Nino Rota, I mean, the whole picture comes to mind. And somehow, because of our lack of focus and attention, we want that instant gratification, and music is now diminishing in value. And I have to say, and I'll say this very boastfully, Hans Zimmer added to this as well. He's usually successful, but he created this whole layered sound effect on film scoring. So the Joker theme, is simply a Stratocaster Fender guitar, which layered solo string notes being played into a computer that he manipulates and creates this impression. So that kind of Hans Zimmer type score is also affected the lasting eternal profitability and beautiful humanization of the human melody.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry because I think Mr. Williams is, like I said, he's 92, 93 now. And
Is he still scoring stuff?
he just premiered his piano concerto, and he's in a wheelchair now. But you can see his face. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
He's 93, God bless him. I mean, I'm more of a Jerry Goldsmith fan because he's difficult to say his music is an adjective. Now, I think that's very important for a composer. When you get to the point where that music sounds like Caliendo, that's really quite a compliment. It takes years of writing to reach that ability. Williams is an adjective. I mean, all of his music you can tell instantly. But film scoring should be more of a chameleon, and I think Jerry Goldsmith was the greatest. I don't think... You listen to Patton, you listen to Planet of the Apes, you listen to the theme to Thriller with Boris Karloff, the Waltons. It's all The Omen. This is a man who looked at a film, like every composer should, and said, what's the vocabulary? What are the musical instruments that are identifiable? Is it a chamber orchestra? Is it 8 musicians? Is it a full orchestra? But not like Danny Elfman. A lot of these guys, wall-to-wall music, after used all the orchestra. To me, that's not craft. And it's not intelligence because you're wasting money. And I was always very careful about budgeting and trying to emulate these giants. Bernard Herrmann.
Love Bernard Herrmann scoring Taxi Driver.
Oh my God, yeah.
Vertigo. Oh my.
Yeah, Vertigo.
So much good stuff. So yeah. So.
Phenomenal.
Psycho.
So I have a question.
Yeah, Joe.
Probably one of the most generic ones ever. I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, so I apologize in advance. But you have such a storied history of working with some really great individuals. Was there, and on some incredible projects, is there one that sticks out amongst all the other ones of whether it had more meaning or just it was the best time or just your favorite? Is there something that just sticks out that you've done?
Yeah, there's a few, but I think the one that really is quite memorable for me is when Sony Pictures had called me into Screening Room 2 to view a film that at the time they were considering restoring during the advent of DVD restoration. And so I'm in Screening Room 2 with my friend Grover Crisp, who was a hobby guitarist and heard me perform at the Upside Down Club in California and called me in and said, I'm watching this movie and it's very grainy, unrestored, incogent. And the film didn't make sense to me, but there was Charlton Heston, my boyhood hero,
Yeah.
and it was a Western directed by Sam Peckinpah, whom is it Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman? What a film. Anyway.
That's a great.
What a film. But I'm not a big Wild Bunch fan, but I certainly knew who Sam Peckinpah was. And Grover at the end of the film said, so what do you think? And there was this terrible moment of I don't know what to think. But he saved me and said, how much is it going to cost for you to rescore it? And no composer had ever been asked to rescore a Hollywood picture ever in the history of Hollywood. And there were obviously intellectual rights and things like this and concerns about union and musicians that played the original soundtrack. But it was Major Dundee, the penultimate film before The Wild Bunch. Mm-hmm. And what they had done was Sony has 2 lots where they're filled with archival material, and it's Grover's job to navigate these archival material. And during DV restoration and he still does this today. One is in London, one is in Kansas, and it's 10 floors below ground and the size of a Super Bowl field. It's not a football field. And he found 12 minutes of extant footage. And it was his idea to on Blu-ray, to rescore this issuing a new copyright, adding 12 minutes of footage, and bringing it to the original version of Peckinpah. So the amount of pressure, I remember 3 or 4 of Sam Peckinpah authorities, people who wrote books about him, came to the lot to discuss with me on how I was going to approach this musically. And one of them was Nick Redman, an extremely dear friend of mine, very erudite, very smart man. And I had 25 days to score to Capitol Records with 50 of Hollywood's best. And so the pressure and the fact I'm working for Sony for the second time, the first time was doing a silent film for them, so I got into their computer system. I would have to say that, no one can tell me what to write. I listened because it was the correct thing to do, but with such limited time, it was against Sam Peckinpah's philosophy to score war scenes. So any battle scenes, no music. Well, there's a battle scene, there's an ambush scene, and Hester gets ambushed by these Indians. And halfway in, I put music in. Anyway, the end result was we screened it at Sony for international press from all over the world. And in that audience was Sam Peckinpah's daughter.
Oh my gosh.
And I said to myself, I don't care what anybody says, but if she likes it, I'm good. And I have great confidence when I'm writing. I'm fluent in music, but I'm like anyone else, terribly nervous when it gets shown. And I'm sitting there with my head down throughout the whole film. And afterwards, she came up to me and put her hand in my heart and said, my father would have been very proud of this.
Aw.
And I just, thank God. And it turns out the press was, it made Undine move from an unknown film to number 53 in Western's greatest lexicon of best Westerns of all time. And Leonard Maltin gave it a very wonderful review. We actually screened it at UCLA, and Leonard Maltin hosted the event. And after the film was shown, Leonard got up and said, I think the first thing we have to do is congratulate the composer. And so I'd have to say, because that was so memorable, because it really started my film career. And there was a lot of pressure on me internationally. And of course, the Hollywood press, the next day, the Hollywood Reporter said, what is Caliendo going to do next? Rescore Gone with the Wind with a Calypso beat. That's what you get. I mean, the controversy, I would too.
Yeah.
But it all turned out well. And the smart thing Grover did, when we released the Blu-ray, you have both scores. See, the original score was by Daniel Amphitheatroff, a very well-known composer. He's scored about 212 films. He received a nomination, Academy nomination for Lassie. Wow. But this film was is considered the worst film score in film history. When you see Chariba the Indian, he used some kind of theremin device, but it's like a bell, beep, 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 beep. And that's the motif for the Indian. And I was like in shock when I was originally watching this going, the music is making this really difficult to watch. I don't know what he was thinking, Daniel, but look at that. It gave me the opportunity of a lifetime.
That's amazing.
Wow. Certain musicians, filmmakers, they always have a movie or some song or something that always kind of, is there anything for you like that?
That's difficult to answer, of course, because there's so many, but it's so funny because whenever I get on drive in a car for a long ride, there's a handful. Yeah. There's the Nino Rota score to The Godfather. It's not that I'm ethically obsessed. It's just immortal. Yeah. But also the score by Rod Gardner for The Omega Man with Charlton Heston. He only scored that one film. And I think I'm amazed by it because I personally, I can look at Jurassic Park and go, I can come up with something for the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be as great as it's difficult to perceive that. It'll be very different from John Williams, but I can handle it. But when I look at that film, I don't even know how to begin how to write a score for that picture. And his ingenuity in percussion, the beautiful themes. He was a theatrical composer like Marty Norman for the James Bond classic theme. Marty was a London theatrical composer, wanted nothing to do with film. But it's funny I'm saying that, but it's true. It's one of these must-have CDs when I'm driving a car on a long drive. But certainly The Godfather, I mean, without question, I still relish the Jaws soundtrack. I love that. I love Psycho, Bernard Herrmann, Jason and the Argonauts, the score for Jason and the Argonauts.
Phenomenal score.
Yeah, phenomenal. These are scores that are so intermittently woven into the fabric of the film that without it, that film can't survive. It's like watching science fiction. If you take the science out and the film still exists, it's not science fiction. Right? So it's one of those things. It's indelible, you know. So can you imagine da 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 da, and in that one line, the whole Godfather film comes into your imagination.
Yeah.
That's power.
Yes.
That's great music. Da 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 da. But the Peter Panther theme. Yeah, I mean, but these are the things that you realize as you climb the ladder in your career as a composer. I mean, I'm so much more affected by the ingenuity and magnificent genius of these composers that had truly left such an indelible imprint upon our imagination and our love of cinema. You know, I had done many things in my life, and I'm very grateful for my journey and the fact that I can support my family. But I'm still trying so hard to create that kind of impact. Ennio Morricone, the Mishra. Cinema Paradiso. Yeah, just now why I love, I have to tell you a short story. It's actually very interesting. I was commissioned by John Paul II twice, and I lived in the Vatican in 92 and 95. And when I was looking for money, the first commission, because I wouldn't go without my mother and father, I sent my cassette of music to 8 different banks. And one of the banks, First Los Angeles Bank, which is an Italian bank, Maria Stracciatelli called me and invited me to lunch to meet Mauro Cicchini, the president. And I don't like asking for money. I've always been self-made, and I've always tried to honor my Korean War hero dad and in my work ethic. And so I go to this restaurant in Beverly Hills. And I go upstairs, and where Mauro sat every day for lunch, there was this separation, this wall that kind of gave him seclusion and privacy. And I turn around it, and Maria Stracciatella stands and says, Christopher Caliendo, welcome, maestro. And I said, and of course I said, thank you, speaking in Italian. And Mauro sits down, he doesn't stand up. And he says to me, do you like the music of Nino Rota? And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, a test right away. And I'm thinking, yeah, la musica di Nino Rota, it makes me see God. So he says, I like the music of Nino Rota because it makes me dream. So I went, great, I passed the test. I sit down. My mother always said, if someone takes you out for lunch or dinner, order the cheapest thing in the menu. So I ordered fettuccine bolognese. And the waiter comes over and brings me a spoon, which is, you know, in Bologna, you do not eat pasta with a spoon. It's very unsophisticated, right?
Yeah.
Jay knows, right?
Yeah.
So I sit down, and then he says to me, do you like the music of Ennio Morricone? And I said, not as much as the music of Nino Rota. And he goes, the music of Nino Rota, Ennio Morricone, it doesn't make me dream. But the music, and then this is where he got into histrionics. He stood up, whipped out from his lapel this white envelope. But this is for you because the music of Christopher Caliendo makes me dream. And he slammed the envelope on the table, and in it were 2 tickets, andare e ritornare, for my parents to go to Italy and meet John Paul II. And it brings up the story with Ennio Morricone. And the reason why I said that was because Nino Rota had 2 brains, one for film, and his music was played by Leonard Bernstein with the New York Philharmonic, which brings him up another level for a conservatory-trained musician like myself, you know. Not that Ennio Morricone didn't write a lot of aleatoric or avant-garde music, and he was great at it. Look at The Untouchables, another great score.
No.
But Nino Rota, to me, is a little bit more of, you know, above that. Anyway, but it's a cute story, and it's your true story.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
That's so cool.
It's what I
Good movies are based on good storytelling.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of really good movies that are shot on lower budgets.
Yeah, the narrations are stronger. You know, they're not franchised. You know, they're, you know, Spider-Man, we got another Spider-Man movie coming out. Although I was very fond of the one with the animation one. That was fantastic.
Oh, that was fantastic. Oh, the Into the Spider-Verse? That was incredible.
Yes.
I was actually really blown away because a lot of people were recommending this to me, and I was like, nah. So first of all, I have terrible taste in film.
How do you mean?
I've got a tattoo of the crawling eye on my leg, so
What is the crawling eye? I'm sorry.
it's a fantastic film. Everywhere else in the U.S. or everywhere else in the world, it was released as a Trollenberg Terror, and it's a 1950s B horror movie. And it's actually quite scary for the time it was released. It like out the gate, it starts with a decapitation. But it is a
What's it called? The Crawling Eye?
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's great. My family.
I was just watching Hammer horror movies yesterday.
Yeah, my family's obsessed with this film. It is my grandfather loved this movie. It is I'm gonna tell that story a little really fast, but we'll edit it out.
Yeah.
So I do B movie nights in Tucson. So I'm our Tucson Elvira, and I grew up watching all these old bad movies in my grandparents' basements with my basement with my uncles and my dad, and we would just sit there and rip them to shreds. And then years later, Mystery Science Theater 3000 came out, and then my family was pissed because they didn't get the money for it, but we've been doing this for years. So my grandfather and I would just like watch these growing up all the time. And he passed away two years ago on Christmas. But he was when I met David, it was over basically Gamma versus Baragon. And I was like, I know that poster. That's Baragon. And he's like, no, it's Ghidorah. I was like, no, it's not. And then he's like, do you want to host a B movie night? So I got started here with that. And my grandfather was picking out all the films to watch. But The Crawling Eye is a fucking legend. I have a lot of Crawling Eye memorabilia all over my home, a lot of B movie stuff. And yeah, that's the litmus test, my family. If like you're trying to introduce somebody to the family. We're all in Queens, right? So the thing is, there's 60 of them.
I'm sorry, what did you say? You were born in Queens?
We're from Queens. Like,
I'm from Jackson Heights.
oh, hey neighbor. Corona.
Yeah.
Hey, Corona over here.
My mother lived in Corona.
Oh my God, we're probably related.
We started living in Corona with my nonna, and then we moved to Jackson Heights.
Oh, that's
I got a
good.
job at the post office. That's crazy.
Yeah, our old family home is where parking lot C of the Mets City Field is.
I gotta tell my mother after this. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're probably related. Everybody in Corona's related. But like there's, we're Italian, so we're eaters and breeders. So there's 60 of us for Sunday dinner. But like if you're trying to introduce, there's 60.
Well, that's on another level.
Well, yeah. Well, we invite the neighbors too because it's a thing. But yeah, so we if you want to introduce somebody to the family, you're like, this is a serious thing. I think I want to keep them around. They have to watch The Crawling Eye with the entire group. And everybody's crammed into the basement and on the stairs and like peering through the windows outside.
My goodness.
And everybody's got their eyes on that one person. And that person has to react in the correct way to The Crawling Eye, which is, this is the greatest film I've ever seen. Otherwise, they're out.
You must love Romero's Night of the Living Dead and things like that.
Yeah, we've actually shown that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Larry Blameyer?
I don't.
I was Larry's chosen composer for years until, I don't know, there was a strike or the Great Recession.
Yeah.
But he was known to parody 1950s black and white horror movies.
I love it.
So I don't know if I have an extra DVD copy. I've got the Old Dark House. He parodied that. And then The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra, but he was getting quite a following. And then he just disappeared, moved to North Carolina, and just couldn't keep. He got to the point where I think we did The Old Dark House.
Yeah.
Dark and Stormy Night, excuse me.
Oh,
Dark and
yeah.
Stormy Night,
That's a good one.
a parody on the Old Dark House, theme, for $2 million, I think he did. And so that was the only picture I ever scored without the film. He wanted me to write all the music, and he would edit my music to the film. I'll never do it again. Ennio Morricone was much more successful with Once Upon a Time in the West,
Yeah.
which he scored before they filmed it, before just Sergio Leone filmed it. But you would love Larry Blameyer.
Oh my God, I'm gonna look him up.
Yeah, Larry Blameyer. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I got a chance to work and record with the Manhattan Transfer because of Larry. We were going to have Johnny Mathis sing my lead theme song for the opening credits for Tales of the Screaming Farhead.
Sounds like something I would be. Why am I not watching that right now?
And we ended up, I called Johnny's manager and he said, you don't want Johnny, he can't sing in tune anymore. So I called the Manhattan Transfer and they were in town and they did it. So we recorded them I'll send you the theme song, but it had to be stylized like a 1950s score.
I love it.
Which was a lot of fun.
I have long wanted to do my own short film that would be a B movie. But
There you go.
I am not I play the accordion very badly and the theremin also very badly, so I don't think that's enough for a musical score. So we might have to be in touch.
David, you hang out with some very interesting people. I'd love to have coffee with you guys. I have to drive to Tucson just to sit down and have a 4-hour coffee session.
Hell yes. This is what you could do in 2 weeks. Come down for B movie on Thursday. We're gonna be playing Velocipaster. It's a Catholic priest who turns into a dinosaur. It's phenomenal. Actually, that was one of the I loved that film, but I did notice, man, the score for this could be a lot better.
Oh, see, yeah.
There was probably no budget for it. I mean,
Yeah, they were working on like a $36,000 budget.
Of course. I actually played the Toxic Avenger.
What?
Yeah. Do you know that? I forget the director. He was a Jewish guy from New York who created these B pictures featuring the Toxic.
Yeah.
Lloyd Kaufman, yeah.
Lloyd, yeah. That's his name. Kaufman, yes. So this was way back. It was, I don't know, 86 or 87, and I was at UCLA getting my master's degree and working with Henry Mancini and CBS. And some friend of mine called me up and said, at that time I was 195 pounds, a little bigger, and so, yeah, I got to put on the Toxic Avenger outfit and do a couple of scenes.
How cool.
It's so cool.
So there you go. Now I must be deemed cool in Jay's eyes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. I mean, the fact that like you studied with Henry, like with Mancini, like, oh my God, that's.
I did want to talk about stock music, if that's okay, David. I didn't.
Yeah. No, it's
One of the things that really challenged me, here, was going into these commercial houses, and there's many of them here, as in Arizona, and just talking to these young little millennials, and this stock music problem we have today. Royalty-free stock music. So I went inside. There's 3 gentlemen in one of their media rooms, and I said, "Tell me the process here. What exactly how you go about doing what you're doing?" And so while we have this, we pay $300 a year. Here's the website, and we sift through thousands of different musical ideas, and I said, so all of a sudden I see this paradigm shift now. The producer's becoming the composer, or they're fulfilling the composing process, right? They're choosing music for their clients' commercial. And so I said, what are the cons to this? He said, well, it takes time, and frequently we have to take 2 or 3 different bites and edit it into the picture. And my brain started thinking, so I made quite an impression on one of these companies, and they came out to me and said, our music budget is $12,500 to $17,000, and for 2 30-second bites and a 15-second stinger. I said, fine. I said, do I get to own the music? He said, no, it's an exclusive buy. I said, okay, well, that increases the price. So this is when I'm trying to understand the nature of commercial scoring here and the types of pricing on these things. So somehow they ended up using stock music, and it, of course, increased their bottom line. And I understood that, and then it made me think. And I created a small little company recently called Pure Score. And I thought, I have 12,000 plus tracks in my database, and I have a music partner who's a platinum award-winning pop composer in LA with our LA studio. Mm-hmm. And I said, why don't we create a solution for this? Because clearly, well, let's start with the big picture and zoom out a little bit. In today's crowded media landscape, audio is one of the strongest drivers of ROI. And if you do your homework, you'll see that for every dollar invested in audio, custom-made audio, it generates $3 in profit short-term and $6 over 2 years. So outperforming most digital platforms. So you consider the difference between stock music and original scoring. And stock music is like stock photography. It can get the job done, but it really leaves a lasting impression. Yeah. So studies show that just 15 seconds, of a well-composed jingle can make branding unforgettable. So that's why I'm now advocating come to us. We'll send us your storyboard for your client. We'll send you 4 or 5 different musical options we feel would work well. You pick which one you like from our stock library, and then we'll custom write it for your commercial. So when a composer joins the development, the score is specifically crafted around the story arc and brand. So music becomes a true partner in storytelling rather than, background wallpaper. So that's what we're doing now in terms of the short form, the commercial form. So when production companies integrate custom scoring consistently across all assets, TV, digital, even paid search, it amplifies the campaign's impact exponentially. So it really makes sense. What we have to do as composers now is accommodate that price tag so it fits into their budget. As long as they understand that driving real engagement and repeat businesses is going to increase not only ROI for them, but referrals, more client opportunities, etc. So this is kind of where we're going here and trying to defeat this horrible, horrible institution now called stock music, where you have music that was pre-written for another purpose. Yeah. How could it possibly, and I look at commercials now, if you look at commercials carefully, all of a sudden the music is cut off because it's stock and it just cuts off abruptly. And unfortunately, that's the way our audiences are being educated now. So it's now status quo. Mm-hmm. So, we're fighting a couple of battles here. So the role of the composer is not diminishing in value. And I'm grateful for you allowing me to speak about this because that's how the message gets out.
Yeah, yeah. So where can they find information about this? Where can they go to find what you're doing?
Yeah, well, there's so many resources. There's, of course, my website, ChristopherCaliendo.com. I have 2 YouTube channels. Certainly, if you go to ChristopherCaliendo.com and sign up for our newsletter, you'll have access to our PDF, which outlines the exact process of how to work with our team in creating custom scores for commercials. One of the YouTube stations is fairly new now. It's called Compose Your Success. And it's ideally suited towards baby boomer composers who, let's say, pivoted into another career in 2008 to support their families. And all of a sudden now retired, are faced with limiting beliefs on, is my music relevant? How do I overcome tech weariness? And I teach them how to get through that process and revitalize their passion for musical creativity. The other website is for my sheet music publishing company, where a lot of the information you just asked, where clients can go to, is stored and available. The YouTube channel, the film playlist, actually has the panel that you came to. It has now a series of panel discussions on topics prevalent to this podcast. They just have to go into the film composers playlist and look for the panels that I have. So that's another way to have direct access. But info@ChristopherCaliendo.com is my email. It's very easy. And if there's any interest, they can certainly, email me through the email. And now that would be a gret way too.
We're nearing the end of the interview.
Yeah, I think we've just begun because I have a lot of homework thanks to Gay, and I have to get to Tucson to see you, and I may bring homemade calamari or something. I don't know.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Ciao.
So we are welcoming our second guest, Francisco Landin, to the show. He's part of the Southern Arizona Film Society. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the society does too?
Yeah, so we are the Southern Arizona Film Society. If I can plug it in, it's soazfilm.org. We are a 501c3 nonprofit that helps filmmakers with development, resources, support, some funding, with an emphasis in emerging and underrepresented filmmakers here in Southern Arizona. So basically, we help you develop your film. We help your post-production, any aspect of production for your film. We help everybody as much as we possibly can. We have a lot of programs. We also do film education. So we do film education for high school students down in the borderlands by the border. We do mentorships here for Southern Arizona filmmakers from here, Tucson, all the way down up to Phoenix, all the way down to Douglas, and all the way over to Buckeye and Yuma. So we offer these classes at no cost to the filmmaker. So that's what we do. Yeah.
I follow you guys on Instagram, and I feel like you always have something really exciting going on and showcasing the talents of your different filmmakers.
Yeah, we do a lot of events too.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of live events, and again, we try to keep these free. Sometimes there's venue costs, so there'll be like a suggested donation for the venues, but all of our events usually are free to the public, open to the public, and again, with an emphasis. We just did like a Mexican queer cinema event. We're helping out with Arizona Underground. We want to put together another screening for another filmmaker. So we do a lot of live event and promotion for other, realistically, if you reach out to us, we'll help you one way or another. If you reach out and you're like, hey, I have this event, can you help push it? We'll push it. Like, we're here to help. That's always our motto, and that's our mission or philosophy.
Nice. That's great. And you recently started doing an evening where you got a lot of local filmmakers together that were able to showcase their short films to a broader public audience. I went to that, and that was awesome.
Yeah, the Film Friday shorts. So this is not our idea. This was something that existed before, but it stopped existing here in Tucson a couple of months ago, where anybody can submit a film and they'll play it.
Mm.
So there was a real need for somebody to bring it back, and I had already met a couple of people who said they wanted to bring it back, and we were like, you know what, we're here. That's what we're, again, support and help filmmakers. Let's put it together. So we teamed up with the community college. We teamed up with another producer and put it together. We played like 18 films, I think. It was a nice big success, and we're gonna start doing it every first Friday of the month. Hopefully, the schedule keeps up every first Friday of the month. And with that, you just submit your film, any film under 10 minutes or under for now. If you're a little bit over, that's fine too. You can send your film and we'll play it, and we'll give you, feedback. We'll do a Q&A with you, so people have the ability to showcase their film and watch it kind of like on the big screen.
Yeah. So I know, so I used to be one of the co-hosts when we were doing the short film showcase before. And we would sometimes take films from, I don't know if this is something you might do later on, but we would sometimes take films from people that we were connected with in the film industry that might not be in Southern Arizona to show. Is that something maybe you'd be open to in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we much rather have like filmmakers here and attend. But we did, I mean, why put this call out? I got a couple of films from like overseas, the people that just saw the Instagram post. But we're gonna give priority to filmmakers that are gonna be here.
Yeah, that's fair.
And again, the idea is to create community and have the people make friendships and connections. So you're looking for a DP, you come and you see a bunch of films, and then you see somebody's great photography, and you go and you talk to them. And then as you're developing your film, then, you can start building your crew because, one of our goals is also to kind of connect the film community. We have like a bunch of little tiny film communities around here in Southern Arizona. And it'd be nice to have a little bit more connectivity and more having everybody work together as opposed to, secretly making your project on the side. Which a lot of people do, not secretly, but a lot of people are like, I'm going to make my own film. I have a camera. I'm going to do it. And yes, that's great. We love it. But, we're here, and the community is here, and there's filmmakers here. Mm-hmm. And you can just ask for help, and people will show up and will help. So it's great.
Cool. And then, so is there like a year of which people can put their movie in? Like 5 years ago, they up to a certain point, maybe a couple years ago. Is there somebody like from the 80s? Oh, I found a VHS I made with my friends.
Oh, yeah.
I want to play this so badly.
God, I've got something from high school I
organized. You know what I mean? Is there like a date? Is there like a timestamp on any of these? Oh.
Now that you mention it, like if you have something from the 80s, please. If you have something for old, like high 8 or something, bring it in. That'd be great.
A 5-minute skateboard video for bumping on the bus.
Yes. I might have one of those too.
Yeah.
I'm about that. I made, in high school, I made a short film that was very Cronenberg-ish, and I bought like a ton of liquid latex and made this weird web thing that went on a car, and it had a pump, so it looked like a heart beating. Yeah. It never finished, and it was shot on garbage video, and it was like 10 minutes worth of me and my buddy just. I mean, obviously, when you see these movies, you're like, it's funny because it's all these 15-year-old kids playing adults.
Should play that. You should put it in.
I want to see this.
Yes.
This sounds
I have some of my old films. I just throw those in, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. No, I'm encouraging that now.
Cool.
Like, bring it from whenever you made it, whatever year. Like, even if it looks funky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an English teacher in 9th grade and 10th grade that would allow us to do short films based on whatever classical book that we were reading at the time.
Oh, wow.
So we were doing like dumb variations of Shakespeare.
Great.
Yeah, it was not pretty.
Oh my God. Great. I mean, then you're getting into like that territory, like, found footage type.
Oh, yeah. Which can be fun.
Which can be a lot of fun.
But the thing is, the idea is that they're going to submit it. It has to be the filmmaker's work. Yeah. You can't be like, oh, I found the thrift store down the street, and it's 5 minutes of goofiness. Can I play it? Like, no, because it's not yours. Like, I know you didn't make it.
It kind of defeats the purpose.
It does. Yeah. And so you have to make it. That's, I guess, one of the rules.
Yeah, you would have to make it. But yeah, any year, there's no, I mean, really, like, just don't bring anything hateful or anything like that. Obviously, we don't stop. But if people get upset, we'll stop it. That's just common sense. But
yeah,
anything from any period in your process of filmmaking, yeah, bring it. I'd love it.
But if there's anything overly gory,
blood
dripping, everything, you're like, play it, but you might have to warn the audience beforehand.
Trigger warning.
Hey, letting you know you can't handle it. Step out for a bit.
I feel like, I don't know if you feel like this. I feel like that we have a very big horror loving community within within our filmmakers here, and so a lot of the ones that I've seen over the years in previously doing the short film showcase, we had a ton of really amazing horror films. And I'm very easily scared, but so a few of them I might have had to look away a few times. But do you see if there's an overall genre that most people gravitate to here, or different genres that people gravitate to more?
I think horror is one of them for sure. I mean, when you're talking about the student level and the independent level, I see a lot of more like coming of age stuff that's cut to like music, more like music video stuff on the student level. But horror, I've been really surprised by some of the horror films that come out of our area and out of our region, and even the comedy horror that comes out too. And
yes, oh yeah,
and I think that's a big one. I think comedy horror is probably maybe it's the one that stands out the most because it's the funnest one.
Yes, yeah.
But I have seen some stuff that I'm like, wow, that's impressive. Yeah. If you're talking about the commercial level, that's a lot of Westerns. But
yes.
We're in Arizona.
So are you working on anything right now, film-wise?
Yeah, so I have a feature film that I shot before pandemic that I've been kind of dragging my feet on finishing because I need animation for it and sound design. So I'm hoping in the next couple of months we can get all that done. And then we're also working, because we have the educational programs, with these educational programs, we make short films with them as well. So we are looking for a short film to develop in the Bisbee Naco area that's connected to the Buffalo Soldiers and the camp that was down there. And that will shoot the beginning of next year, and we'll have it done by the festival, which I also didn't mention. But we also have the Nogales International Film Festival. And if I could plug that in right now, Nogales International Film Festival, we have an event called Film on the Fence. And in that one, what we do is we project the same film on both sides of the border wall. So we kind of delete or remove the wall through film. So we're playing it simultaneously on both sides. We put chairs on both sides and then play the same film. So kind of create this unity across this giant metal wall that has been brought up by, social, political events.
That was really cool.
That's beautiful.
And, everything that we do, all these films that we help produce or these educational programs, they all premiere at that festival as well. So, everybody that we're supporting, they get to premiere there too. So it's part of, everything kind of culminates with the festival. So I mean, David knows festivals.
No?
Yeah. So how much work it is, but, might as well, if we have these opportunities and we're making these films, help the people that are here and support the people that are working it. So,
Love that.
Awesome.
but yes, submit an awesome film to the short film showcase. I think we're gonna take them up until the first Thursday of the month because we show them on the first Friday of the month. And bring your old 80s UHS. I think that'd be so cool.
But the people who live outside Tucson listening to this, submit your film to the Nogales Film Festival when they submissions do open up.
They open in November, Nogales International Film Festival. Where again, an international film festival, we're bringing a lot of filmmakers, do a lot more workshops, and then you get to see your film on both sides. Because we play your film one day on the Mexico side and then the other day on the U.S. side. So you could cross over and watch it in Mexico with the Mexican audience, cross back and watch it in the U.S. with the U.S. audience. It's a pretty unique experience.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was there this past time. It was fun. I was like surprised to be on the wall watching a movie with the wall right there.
Yeah,
it was definitely an experience. This was like, I think everybody needs to check this out.
And we also have amazing parties. So
yes, definitely the most important thing. Yes.
Well, and the food too. And yes.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for being on.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Francisco Landin, and that concludes our show.
This was such a great show today.
It was a good show.
We had great talks.
Yeah.
I learned lots of neat things. Excited for the upcoming film festival down here.
Yeah, Nogales Film Festival, definitely go to it. Check out Chris Caliendo's stuff online.
Yes.
Talk to him, hit him up for some music. See, he's a great composer. He's worked with so many people from Mancini and on. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. This was super fun. How are we gonna top this?
I don't know. But if you feel you could, definitely top it. Email us at bringfilmclub@gmail.com and send us. Maybe you want to be interviewed. Maybe you know somebody. So we'd love to hear from you. We're signing off.
Ta-ta for now.
Bye.
Now commencing our ascent back to the surface. If you want more content, visit brink.com. If you want less content, you are happy and well adjusted. Congratulations. All art by Andrea Osoinik. Theme song by Josh Bill Humor. If you are angry, DM death threats at Brink Media on Instagram. If you are horny, also DM us. Thank you for your attention. You are free to go.